This is the Mattel Creations exclusive WWE Ultimate Edition Jesse the Body Ventura. And this figure is going to go up for pre-order on February 11th, 2026 at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. MattelCreations.com is the only place you're going to be able to get this figure. And I do want to give a huge shout out to Mattel and Mattel Creations for making this video possible and sending out an early sample for us to review for you today. I look forward to this Jesse Ventura, man. Very excited for it. You can see here we have the kind of shipper box. You got the Ultimate Edition logo. You got Saturday night's main event here with this cool army green color that I like a lot, and then you spin it to the side, you get a nice little image or silhouette of Jesse the Body. Got the little WWE logo, and on the back you get the WWE logo with the official WWE license, and then on this side you get Jesse the Body Ventura. And then of course you open up the top and you can pull out the Jesse the Body Ventura figure. There is no flap on the front side of this Jesse the Body Ventura Ultimate Edition, as you can see here. You know, on the Logan Paul and the Cody Rhodes figures, these Mattel Creations Ultimates, I can't remember if the CM Punk had one, but you guys remember that flap that would flap down and it was kind of Velcro. This one does not have that, but you can see you have this kind of Saturday night's main event style logos going on. The open window here where you can actually physically touch the figure. Jesse the Body Ventura down here. There's a shot of the back side of the figure. Very good looking promo image right there. But I like the way that all of this looks, man. I'm digging this. I like the way that Jesse is in there. I almost feel like if you wanted to, you didn't want to keep it in the shipper, you could sit this whole thing on a shelf, and I think you would like the way that looks. But up close, this figure is looking very good. I'm digging the camo zebra print we have going on. Lots of nice patterns going on with this figure. And you know, we saw this figure way back at San Diego Comic-Con, and after multiple chances or multiple times we thought this figure was going to be listed, it is not. But coming this Wednesday, it is finally going to go up for order, and I am excited to review this for you here today. So with that being said, let's get the body out of the packaging and find out what this Jesse Ventura figure is all about. So here we have the body out of the packaging, and dude, I really am liking this figure a lot. I think they hit us with a lot of different patterns. They got a lot going on with this figure, and we're going to, of course, unpack it all, dive into the accessories of the figure, take you through the figure itself, see how it poses, get into some comparisons. But it's crazy, this is our second Ultimate Edition Jesse the Body Ventura already this year. Or, I mean, the tail end of 2025, we got that Coliseum collection. But he bats a very high percentage. I'm excited for his Legends figure. He's got some other things down the pipe that I'm really excited for as well. But today, we're diving into this Ultimate, man. Let's get into his accessories first, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure itself. So for these accessories, we get 3 interchangeable head sculpts, get some cloth goods, a couple hats. You get some different stuff going on here. Of course, no championship, but that's not the biggest deal with this character. So the first head sculpt we have here is him kind of ticked off. He's looking off to the right. I don't typically like when the figures are looking off one way or the other. I prefer when they're straight on, but the likeness here is crazy. You know, he's got that older man haircut, right? You got the balding on the top, wrapping around in the dark brown. You get that handlebar mustache, which looks really good. The likeness on the Jesse the Body Ventura head sculpts we've gotten from Mattel has been very impressive so far, but you also have this one where he's kind of smirking, looking to the left now, and he does not have the handlebar on the mustache, but I do like that sculpt. He kind of looks like Dale Earnhardt or something, which I do like. I think that looks good. Kind of I don't know, man, that is an incredible likeness. I mean, the likeness on these head sculpts is very impressive. And then we have the third one where he's looking like almost slightly to the left, but he's kind of pissed off or he's talking there or angry, whatever. Kind of got his J. Jonah Jameson going on, which I like. I don't know, man, which head sculpt do you prefer? I really like the angry one, but I also kind of like the smug one, but the smirking one is also kind of a contender, man. So I like all 3 head sculpts. I think all 3 of them do a pretty good job of capturing different likenesses of the character in different expressions. Now outside of that, we do get the tiger stripe jacket that has camouflage behind it. So you get that green and brown, you get those black tiger stripes, very clean application, and I'm pretty sure, just like the hat that we're about to take a look at, did he not wear this jacket in the Predator movie in 1987? Am I insane? Or am I swear that happened, man. This camo hat and this jacket, maybe not the jacket, but I could have swore this hat, man, but I do like this. It's cloth goods, you get the Velcro in the front, goes on the figure very easily, you get that Velcro on the front so you can slap it on there to remain it on, and it fits well, so that's always good. But there is a backside shot of the jacket slash shirt, which I do like, and then we do have the hat here that has a nice camo print. You kind of got that snake skin or that pattern that goes around there that is sculpted on, which is nice, and then he does have the bandana coming out of the back, which I like, which, you know, you may look at this and think, oh, that's the same exact sculpt we got on the Macho Man, but it's not. It's actually a different hat sculpt than the Macho Man we got way back when in that same Ultimate Edition set as Edge, but I do want to take the head sculpt here and see how these hats fit, and they fit very nicely. I like the way way that they fit on the head. You know, they're not too tight, not too big, and it stays on there. So that's really all you can ask for with these head sculpts, and I think that looks good. And then you also get this bandana that says Jesse in the gold and black, and I like the font. I think this looks good, and again, it does go on there pretty nicely. No glasses or anything here, but I do like the way that these look all together, man. You put the bandana on there. I like the bright gold color you got going on there. It's got Jesse across the top. Very clean and very snug on these head sculpts, which is pretty much all you can ask for, really. And then we get the headphones, the commentator headphones, which I do like the sculpt of. We saw these with the Royal Rumble Build-A-Figure Elite Corey Graves. My only problem is I don't like the way that they fit a lot of the times. You know, they're kind of on here like hovering. They don't really fit that snug. That's something that I'm not a big fan of. And then, of course, when you add the bandana or the hat on top, and then it just kind of makes everything a little bit worse, too. So here's the bandana on there, and then you try to put the headphones on here, and it's just, it's just tough, man. It's not something that's easy. I mean, I guess the only way you could really pivot from this would be if it were sculpted on, but it's just not an easy look to do. And then when you get it on there, you can see it doesn't really, it's not great. It's not the best of all time there, but I don't know, you could make it work in some cases, but it's not going to be easy for you. It also comes with the classic WWF microphone, of course WWE now, but I do like the sculpt of this. This isn't new, we've seen this before, but you get that silver handle, you get that mic flag there with the WWE block logo, and then you do get the nice sculpting there on the microphone part. And then for interchangeable hands, we get a pair of mic holding hands. You do get a pair of fisted hands with your Jesse the Body Ventura, and then you also get the pointer fingers, so you could do all kinds of stuff with these, but I do like that you get 3 pairs of interchangeable hands. So getting into the Jesse Ventura figure itself, when we do the articulation and looking at the, just the body sculpts and stuff, I do remove all the accessories so you can really get a look at the body of the base here. But when we get into some comparisons, I will showcase the figure with all the accessories up next to the rest. It's just to give you an idea here, but I do like the way that the head sculpt sits. It does have a very long neck peg though, so you can see there if you're worried about different things. I just want you to know that. We're going to try a couple head sculpt swaps here just to see what it can look like, but I did want to make that known. But this does look to be the Ultimate Edition Stone Cold torso, which I like. The bigger shoulders and arms, which I also like. I think this is a good use of this. I think this looks nice. Everything like that going on. Plain Jane, no wrist tape, no watches or anything like that. You do get this nice khaki tan belt, which I like. I like that they actually painted the belt with the belt loop or the belt buckle, which is nice. And then one of the sort of shining moments of this figure is going to be the detailed brushing that you get on these jeans. So it's kind of a darker denim. You get that light wash over it, which I like. You can see the stitches painted in right there and everything like that. This is the same sculpt we get. So you get the pinless jean color or denim, which kind of, that makes me afraid for the articulation. But I do love these boots. So you have this nice, I don't even know what pattern I'm looking at right here, man. So you have this almost crocodile looking pattern on the boots with the little heel right there. I'm not sure if this is the Bray Wyatt Ultimate Edition sculpt or not. I don't have that figure in hand, but I'd imagine it probably is, or it's close, but I'm not sure if this is just for this figure specifically, but they look really good. That's a nice little boot, color right there, man. This may be a good base for, a Hangman or somebody like that. I'm not entirely sure. However, we do need to get into the articulation of the figure here. He can look up a little bit, not too much there. You get a little bit of shifting, and it can look down some there, but the ab crunch on this figure, that is probably my number one want out of these figures. Is I want to see better ab crunch out of all WWE action figures from Mattel. I just think that is one thing that they could really work on and improve on or put towards the future. We've kind of seen that implemented in the women's Ultimates. Really looking forward to seeing how they do for a men's Ultimate Edition with the ball joint torso or, crotch piece into the lower torso here. But you do get the butterfly joint here, which is very nice, goes back that far. You get full rotation here. Got the bicep cut there, double jointed pinless arms. You do get the swivel and hinge in the wrist, of course. Drop down hips here that allow for a kick forward there. This can drop down like this and out to the side, which is good. Always be careful putting that back. You get the upper thigh cut. You do get a double jointed knee, and it's not as stiff. It's still stiff like denim jeans are, but not nearly as stiff as I have seen with some Elite figures, which is good. And then on the feet, I don't see any real, you get rotation a little bit here, but there's no real up and down. You don't really get any up and down, but you do get the toe hinge hinge, and there is a little peg hole on the heels right here, so that's pretty cool. But as far as your boots, you can rotate them, but you can't really do anything else. There's no ankle rocker like we've seen or anything like that. But let's put the clothes back on this Jesse the Body Ventura, and then we will get into some, different comparisons and stuff. But actually, before we do that, I do want to try a head swap with a Stone Cold, so you guys can see if that'll work. It looks like the neck peg's going to be a little too long. I mean, I guess you could switch the neck peg, but yeah, that neck peg is very, very long. You see the potential, but there is some serious gapping going on right there. And then I actually have a custom Jon Moxley head sculpt right here that I kind of want to put on here just to see if it'll work. I don't know, that's not half bad right there. That may be something you want to play around with. So for your Ultimate Edition Jesse Ventura comparisons, here is our other Ultimate Edition Jesse Ventura, which is the Coliseum Collection version, which, you kind of get two different versions of Jesse here, which I do like. And I think both are pretty damn good. I think they're both good representations here. You can see the wrestling version, or the tights gear right here is a little bit taller right there. Do with that what you will. Would like to see some better consistency across the scale of these figures. I felt like, it was pretty money early on, and then it seems like, we've kind of lost it in some ways. I'd like to see us return back to that scaling problem there. And then for another Ultimate Edition figure comparison, here's the Ultimate Edition Hulk Hogan. That's the first Ultimate Hogan we got. May have been the second. It's just the WrestleMania 1 Ultimate Edition Hogan. And then we do have the Macho Man here in the white jacket, just for another comparison there. And then for another comparison, we have a few Build-A-Figures here. You have Mean Gene, you have Vince McMahon, and then you do have the Fink, just for some comparisons here with this Ultimate Edition Jesse the Body Ventura. And here is a little height comparison there between all of these. Not too shabby right there. It looks like Jesse is right about the same height as the Vince McMahon, so that's kind of cool. I'm not entirely sure if that's accurate or not. I feel like it is, but I could be wrong. You can let me know down in the comment section below. But I think that all but wraps up the Jesse the Body Ventura Mattel Creations Ultimate Edition action figure review. I am really enjoying this figure, man. Jesse Ventura was on our list for a very long time of getting him in Mattel action figure form. It took a very long time. Finally getting him in action figure form from Mattel is a huge step. Of course, this isn't really, a wrestling gear. You have the Coliseum Collection for that, but I do like the little nods they make with this figure. I really dig the camo jacket. I dig the hat. I like the bandana. I like the head sculpts. I think that you could probably work around this body, pun intended, and make other characters if you wanted to do so as well. I dig the boots a lot. I wish that it had some ankle pivot or some better ankle articulation, of course. And the denim jeans, any jeans that Mattel makes usually in the year 2026, they are very stiff. These legs are not nearly as stiff as the Elite legs we have come to know in the last couple of years, so that is a bonus. And I really like the likeness of the head sculpts as well. I think that that's very nice. The headphones don't fit the best on the head sculpts, of course, especially if you add in the bandana or the hat, right? But, I think that's something that could be improved upon in the future. Maybe sculpted on headphones or something like that would probably work better. But I have found myself enjoying this figure. It was fun to shoot. It's been fun to pose around and kind of, just see what you can do with this figure. And that's always one of the bonuses of the reviews, is just finding out the full potential of this figure, and hopefully the reviews will kind of provide that for you. You watch the review and you can see, that full potential. Maybe you can use it in more ways than one, not just buying it straight up for Jesse Ventura, but what it could be beyond that, or what you could use this figure for with the expansive accessories that they give with you. So, that's just something to monitor there. But I had a lot of fun with this figure. Of course, it is going up on Wednesday. At the time you're seeing this, that will be tomorrow, or maybe you're seeing this day of, but it will be Wednesday, February 11th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This Ultimate Edition will go up for pre-order on Mattel Creations. But another huge shout out to Mattel Creations and the Mattel team for sending this figure out to review. I had a lot of fun with it. I think it's solid, and I'm very happy with everything here so far that we've gotten here. And I'm just glad to actually see this figure finally go up, because, again, it seemed like, I don't know, I kind of got worried there for a second. It was almost as if we weren't going to get this figure, but it seems we are getting it now, and that's great. But this figure was a lot of fun to shoot, and I think you guys will also enjoy the figure, man. But that is pretty much going to wrap it up for me. Before we get out of here, let's get into our random comment shout-out. And this shout-out's going to go to Griffin Lint, who says, "Bro posted at midnight, love it." And that was from our video yesterday, man. So, yeah, man, always constantly on the grind, man. Always working, always constantly has the finger on the pulse, man. That is the whole point of it. And, we're always working, man. We're always working. Put in the work, what you got to do, man. But I appreciate you guys so very much. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you'd like a future shout out in a video, comment something down below, a question, something about the figure, anything down below, man, we will get to it. But I appreciate you guys so very much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. I'd love to see what you guys feel about this Jesse the Body down below. And are you pre-ordering or buying this figure? I would like to know. But I'm getting out, man. I'll see you guys next time. Have a blessed one, and I'll catch you guys later.